Let's learn how to better operate our internal machinery, meaning our body and mind. In our culture, people aren't really taught how to use these resources effectively. How do we find motivation? One effective way is to be able to subjectively link the release of dopamine to the process itself by telling yourself, I really want to reach this goal, and even taking a single step toward it is a success. This way, you find the drive to keep going, step by step. When we engage in an action, it can either be energizing or exhausting, and the secret lies in balancing the dopamine and adrenaline systems. This mechanism exists in all animals. For example, a grazing animal in a barren area searching for water might change direction until it catches a faint scent of water. At that moment, dopamine is released, not when it actually drinks, which gives it the energy to keep going. Think of walking in the desert, exhausted from thirst. At the sight of a distant lake, you suddenly find the strength to make it through that last stretch. It's not that you suddenly have more physical energy, it's that dopamine is boosting your motivation. Only recently have we started to understand how dopamine actually works. When you begin to feel that desire and tension toward a goal, it's partly due to dopamine and adrenaline, or epinephrine, two closely linked substances, since dopamine produces adrenaline. These two neurotransmitters work together, creating a cycle of craving and action. Some people associate big dopamine spikes with moments of victory, but those who know how to manage this system learn to celebrate in a more contained and internal way, avoiding extreme mood swings and allowing the system to reset. After a big success, it's natural to feel a bit down. Rather than chasing another dopamine spike right away, it's better to take a few days to let your system rebalance. This way, you give yourself time to naturally regain motivation and prepare for new goals without exhausting your energy. Through a continuous process of seeking and effort, dopamine becomes a constant source of motivation, and the key is to view the act of seeking as the reward itself. For most people, the reward is seen as the final goal, but the trick is to reach it without excessive celebration, and then immediately start again, maintaining a positive and realistic attitude toward the world. Positive thinking can indeed give a boost, but it has to be genuine. It's not about convincing yourself that you've already won. It's about believing that your effort will lead you to the goal. The fundamental point is that you can't always push the accelerator without giving yourself rewards along the way. Motivation is a matter of mental energy. It's the desire to keep going, to push forward despite obstacles. To sustain this energy over time, you need regular dopamine boosts spread across your days or months. Otherwise, you risk burning out. Everyone needs to find their own balance, the ideal point to maintain motivation without exhausting themselves. These days, there's a lot of focus on habits and how to build them, because each small achievement can trigger a dopamine release. It's not so much the goal itself that matters, but the fact that you completed it. Dopamine is released in the brain in a highly subjective way. There's no single experience that guarantees a dopamine release for everyone in the same way. If, for example, I decide to start a new project with the new year, the energy doesn't come from the final achievement, but from the feeling of progressing toward the goal. The secret is to link dopamine release to the effort itself, or to the feeling that you're moving in the right direction. Many people make the mistake of thinking that positive motivation should only be tied to reaching the end, but it's not about thinking you've already won or fooling yourself. It's about trusting that your effort will lead you to the goal. This means mentally bringing the horizon closer, focusing on your progress, and maintaining a positive outlook. Usually, when I say this, people ask exactly how to do it, but the answer is that each person has to find their own way. Everyone needs to discover what keeps them moving, what helps them narrow down the possibilities to focus on their important goals, and how often they need to reward themselves. The key is to learn to value the reward you achieve, to truly appreciate what you've accomplished and the path you took to get there. However, it's important to remember to connect that satisfaction not only to the final goal, but also to the effort that allowed you to reach it.